All right. The sounds you got out of that were really incredible, and the diversity of sounds, especially, and you know, I won't go on, but especially some of the low stuff and when it came in and how it came in was really amazing.
It's like watching someone playing like an instrument that they'd studied forever. Like,
well, I didn't make it, so I did like plan. I was pretty like I don't know, intentional with like which capacitors I use. Like I tested a bunch of different ones and I was like, I know I want a range of high pitch and like low pitch. I had like a really low pitch capacitor that was so low that you couldn't really hear it at all unless the potentiometers turned all the way. And I was like, no, I can't have this. Like I have to have a different one. And so yeah, there was definitely like intent behind like deconstruction of it. So that's probably like how that translated. Yeah, there is sort of a deeper meaning, I guess, behind the synth and the way I constructed it. I have really been thinking about the idea of like tech and efficiency and how tech, like now I think through specifically like tech artists, this like kind of new idea of like tech not necessarily needing to be so efficient is kind of like starting to rise, and like sort of the idea of because tech like originally was meant to be like a tool to help us in our daily lives and our daily problems, but now it's basically reached peak efficiency. It's like ingrained in our lives. We are literally like surrounded by like technology all the time, that like it's just made our lives very easy in a way that like kind of makes them worse. And I think the idea of using tech, like creating interfaces that are not so easy to understand, or that like it like stimulates your brain in a way that is good for your brain, and in a way that it's like almost in the natural world, when we're not surrounded by tech, there's just unpredictable things, and that's what stimulates our brain, and we like problem solve, and we learn, and we grow, and we evolve through that. And so the idea of like making tech not as efficient on purpose as a way to stimulate us in a different way is interesting. And to me, it speaks like kind of like it's interesting that artists like want to do that, or like I'm inclined to do that, because it's kind of like recreating life in a weird way, like playing God, like recreating the like difficulties of life through a piece of like art or tech, just so your like brain can be like, oh, I want to figure it out, but you made it. So I don't know. I think it's interesting, and I'd like to explore that concept more in my future projects.
Yeah.